Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So in this one, I wanted to talk a bit about an upcoming bundle that is, I guess, tied for the most expensive bundle we have ever seen in Marvel Snap. And I figured this one is really worth talking about because this is a real money only bundle. So I wanted to break it down a bit, see what is the value proposition here. Is this worth buying? Who is this worth buying for? What is it compared to some of the other value bundles in the game? Normally, I like to do these when the bundle releases, but as this is a bit more of an expensive bundle, I figured I would do this a little bit earlier, so that way, if people are interested in it, they can start saving a little bit ahead of time, because this is basically directly competing with Token Tuesdays for players who often turn their real dollars into gold for the Token Tuesdays. Now, unfortunately, this is a real money only bundle. So if you're someone who's been saving gold and using them for the Token Tuesdays, it does not compete in the same way. However, I would not be surprised if there are a decent amount of players who end up burning through their free gold on either bundles or variants or what have you, and they have to put in real money to get gold to buy those Token Tuesdays if they want them. So let's take a look at the value here. Now, a quick disclaimer, value is always going to be a bit subjective. Whether the price of something is worth it or not is going to vary a lot person to person. How much is the money worth to you? How often do you play the game, and how much value do you see investing in the game? That's always going to be subjective, as is the value of the specific variant. But we're going to be focusing today on comparing to Token Tuesday, which is widely regarded as the best and most accessible way to get decent tokens for the gold conversion rate, and if this is better in terms of a value proposition. So what bundle are we talking about? This is the Beautiful Beyond Compare bundle. This is going live on the 3rd of May, so about 2-ish weeks from now, and it will be going until May 21st. We saw this in the recent bundle data mine video I did, but at the time, the price was not known, though many people, myself included, expected this to be a real money purchase given the pretty absurd amount of collector's tokens we're seeing inside of it and the fact that a gold price wasn't data mined. So what do you actually get out of this bundle, and how much does it cost? The Beautiful Beyond Compare bundle is giving you 10,000 collector's tokens. By far the most tokens we've ever seen in an individual bundle. It is also giving you 500 credits, 500 gold, 310 collector boosters, a collector Flaviano variant, and avatar. Now, what does it cost? 100 US dollars. So not cheap by any means. But I wanted to break it down and see what the actual value here is for the tokens, and if this is a purchase that is kind of worth it for those who are already spending real money to buy their Token Tuesdays. So Token Tuesdays have generally been regarded as kind of the best way to get tokens outside of a handful of the bigger bundles, but most of the bigger bundles, with the exception of the tokens bundle that is upcoming shortly here, most of the bigger bundles, they usually kind of split their value between tokens and credits, or sometimes they put in more variants and that kind of eats up some of the value. But Token Tuesday has been widely celebrated because the token ratio to gold spent is fairly close to 1-to-1. Most of the Token Tuesdays are averaging between a 0.90 to a 0.94 rate of converting your gold into tokens. So it's just under 1-to-1, and as far as offers go in Marvel Snap, that has generally been some of the better token rates we have seen for the cost. Now, how much would it actually cost if you were to buy 3 months of Token Tuesday? So I went back, I took a look at the March, April, and the upcoming May Token Tuesdays. Now, Token Tuesday has not varied a whole ton. The only real difference we've seen with it is that March and April only had 4 Token Tuesdays, and May has 5 because there's an extra Tuesday in the month. So May does have a bit more tokens, but this kind of works out because it makes comparing them really easy. So how much would it cost you if you did want to buy the 3 months of Token Tuesday for the last 2 months and this upcoming May if you were spending real money converting into gold. Well, if we add all these up together, we can see that buying every Token Tuesday for these 3 months is going to result in a cost of 8,250 gold, and you will walk away with a yield of 7,600 tokens, as well as some boosters, but we're really not going to be factoring the boosters into this equation as they're random and are lesser amounts, plus you get those with the big bundle anyway. So 8,250 gold, that ends up being just over the $100 mark if you're buying the max value of gold you can, 8,000 gold being 100 USD. So it's just barely over the $8,100 mark. And for that, you're getting 7,600 tokens. Again, if you're buying Token Tuesdays with earned in-game gold, this is not the same value proposition. But for those people who are not doing that, we can pretty much look at these right next to each other and see a very big difference. So for roughly the same price of $100, you are getting 10,000 tokens instead of 7,600. That's an increase in 2,400 tokens, almost 25% increase in what you're getting. That's a huge, huge chunk of value. And this definitely seems like one of those things where they're testing the waters to see, hey, if we juice this up with more value than people are used to, can we get them to bite the bullet, get the bigger purchase for real money only, without having to factor in people saving up gold via free to play. So not even accounting for the variant or the boosters or small amount of gold and credits that are thrown in, you're seeing pretty much a almost 25% flat increase in terms of value for the same cost. Again, if you're spending money for gold for these Token Tuesdays. So I thought this was pretty eye-opening. Marvel Snap can be an expensive game if you want a lot of the cosmetics or if you want a lot of the new cards as they're coming out. That's no secret. And unfortunately, we kind of wish it was better, but we're living in the world we're in, not the world we wish we were in. So looking at the value of this, if you're trying to be an efficient spender, obviously if you're a smaller spender, this isn't even on your radar for the most part. You should just stick to the Token Tuesdays. They're still a good value, and you don't need to throw a large lump sum all at once. However, if you're someone who maybe only spends money on the game once in a blue moon and you're looking to get the absolute best value for your dollars, this is a very substantial increase in terms of what you're actually getting for tokens. Now, the token value will vary person to person in terms of where you're at in your collection. How much do you really value tokens? Do you need these 10,000 tokens because there are 2 cards you're really looking forward to, but you don't have many tokens saved up? Do you have most of the cards you want and these tokens aren't necessarily going to be value right away because you're not excited for some of the upcoming cards? That's going to vary a lot person to person. But tokens are generally the most valuable currency, especially once you've finished Pool 3, as that is your main way you're getting a lot of these newer cards. So in terms of pure raw token value, I think this is the best we've ever seen. Obviously it's expensive, but if you look at it from an angle of if you're already going to be purchasing these Token Tuesdays for money, you should just buy this bundle and not buy Token Tuesday for 3 months instead. You will end up spending the same amount of money, you will get more for your money, and you'll get a little bonus thrown in on top of a variant, boosters, and a small amount of credits and gold. So I think it's important to be efficient in how you want to spend money in Marvel Snap. It's definitely not the world's cheapest game, though there are a good amount of people who do enjoy it free to play. If it is a game you want to spend money on, I think it's important to try and get the best value for your buck because it's not cheap. And this definitely sticks out to me as someone who does spend money on the game because, well, this is my job. This is something I'm probably going to get and then just forego getting Token Tuesdays because I don't need both of those things. It's already expensive enough as is. I'm viewing this just as a kind of discount Token Tuesday that I can get all at once rather than spread out over 3 months. Now, obviously the value in this does go up a bit if you really like the collector or like the variant. I'm not factoring that into the value at all. This is a purely progression value analysis. It'll always be subjective. You know, how good is the card? How much do people like playing the card? How much do people like the art? Not really here to judge that quite as much, but in terms of raw numbers, I think this is a very good value buy if this is an amount of money you're comfortable spending on the game. Now, I do think it is important that we have more value bundles for lesser amounts of gold. This definitely feels like them testing the waters. There are quite a few upcoming bundles, though, that I do think look rather promising for our players who are just accumulating gold and are going the free-to-play or pass-only route. So I will be covering more of these bundles in the future as they're coming out, doing a bit more of a in-depth breakdown. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Who is this really for? But I wanted to get this one out a little bit earlier because it is a more expensive bundle. So I did want to give people a chance to save up, and especially if they were going to invest money into gold. Now maybe you know, hey, I won't buy the gold. I'll save my money for the real money bundle if it looks worth it to me. I don't personally mind them doing stuff like this, but I do think it would go a long way to ease some of the player base's frustration if they did do a guaranteed, like very high value, low gold cost bundle each month. We saw overwhelmingly positive reception to the Jubilee bundle and even the Momoko Magic bundle, where you got a lot of value for the cost. So I think more of those two things would kind of help with the reaction to some of these more expensive bundles. It's definitely not something for everybody, and I think that's fine. Nobody needs every bundle in this game, but I do think it's important that they do have more options, so that way people don't feel like, hey, this is a game only for people who want to spend a pretty absurd amount of money on cosmetics and progression. So I'm hoping we do get some more of those cheaper bundles. I do think there are a handful here that do look pretty appealing for our free-to-play or pass-only folks. So we'll be covering those as they're dropping, but definitely some cool ones in the future. So stay tuned for those. But that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.